All right, so let's start with the bikes. We'll work our way from 2 wheels to 4 wheels. Yeah, this is the bike that caught my eye when I walked in.
With the crafty headlights.
Yeah, and the thing that's great about them is you put the screen on there, so I thought it was just some kind of filter. But look at that.
Jimmy Shine and I went around about this because, you know, you put a number plate on a car, you're going to drive it around, you kind of, what are you doing? But to be authentic, you need to have this flat plate on the front of it, give it the right look. Then how do you cheat these in here? And Jimmy came up with a great idea. Keep them small, and then put the screen back, and then reverse that, and it completely disappears on the bike. So the front of the bike looks like a race bike. It doesn't have a big headlight hanging out.
And no fender, and I love the texture, powder coating, whatever coating on this off gold that's on the forks and the setup. What is that? What is that color and what is that texture?
Well, there's a process that we use where we actually shot paint everything so that it is as cast, even though these are billet. And we have several different processes that we use, and a lot of it is actually titanium powder coat. It's a ceramic.
Wow.
And so the texture is made just so, and then a lot of it's anodized, but we've got some really good outsourcing where we can match all these different colors.
So this is normally a smooth billet, and then when you guys shot paint it, it gives it that cast texture.
Yeah, and then we round everything off so that it looks like a casting, and that's the whole idea.
Right. We got aluminum tank, and I love this super minimalist gas cap.
You know, a lot of guys are running the big flip models and all of that.
Sure.
So everything, and it's styled to the SoCal Roadster. So rather than this being white, obviously, we wanted to show the aluminum tank.
Right.
And it's only made in 4 pieces with a seam right down the middle, which we're proud of.
The, again, more that sort of powder coating texture on the crankcase cover on the side.
It's all participating on this, but even the gold film on the carbs, you brought that back.
Right. Everything is is the frame and the engine 2 pieces?
The frame is 1 piece.
Is it part of the? I'm looking at the way the engine is mounted on the frame.
It is a stress member.
Right.
It's a big,
but the frame does not carry through from the swing arm to the front.
No, it's all.
The shocks are.
It's all mounted right in here, so there's nothing underneath it. And then we brought the pipes in high.
Right.
As compared to the standard Triumph, which is nice and low.
Right.
We kept the double down tubes because that was more classic looking.
And again, just the hand painted SoCal Speed Shop on there. I love it. I see it in my old race cars where you see a little brush stroke, you see a little bit of the base color peeking through.
We actually we spend a tremendous amount of time with our striper lettering guy, which is again Dennis Rickless, and he is monumental in his world. And I have him thin that paint out just enough to do 2 things. You can see the undercolor and you can see the brush strokes.
Right.
So we demand that so that it's just not a vinyl sticker.
Right.
And it's funny you mention it because a lot of people do see it. I mean, it's real important to somebody who's a purist, you know.
I'm that way with my race cars. I don't like any of the vinyl meatballs and numbers and names and stuff.
No.
It looks great when you see, and it really makes you appreciate the artistry of it because you go, oh, that was all hand painted. So that's the flat track bike, and then over here is more the, I don't know, cafe racer. 50s.
These are essentially the same frame that you started with.
These are the same frame.
Right. To me, this goes back another decade or so.
That's right. There's kind of 3 eras of cafe racers. This would be sort of the late 50s, early 60s. Clubman bars on it.
Yeah.
Bigger, brighter headlight on it. Actually, on this one, we used the same tailpiece as we used here, and we changed the side covers as well. So it's basically, we took the rear of the bike, which is all sort of European looking, and we just modified it and brought it back this way. We used, another unique thing is we went to a 4-leading shoe drum brake.
You could almost sneak a disc under there if you wanted to cheat it. Great, just great looking stuff. And let's take a look at the 4-wheel offering, which Pete brought us behind us. Nice. And in front, that would be normally a
That's his
fuel
keg
tank, right?
That's Pete's
that's
keg.
a fuel tank. It's a reserve fuel tank, not a reserve fuel tank. It's if you were going to run some kind of fuel or alcohol, you put it in this tank.
I see.
So this is kind of a Bonneville flavor.
Right.
The car was built in 1987 as a dual-purpose drag car, street car, so it ran in the 10s and you could still drive it to New York.
Wow.
So this thing's really fast. It's a 550 horsepower blown to small block.
Say Colorado. Be more realistic.
Oh no, we dip our toes in the Atlantic all the time. Yeah.
Wow.
You killed some bugs on the way here.
Wow.
Yeah, this car, I built it in '87 and I sold it to a pal of mine, and it sat out in Parker for 20 some years, and he finally decided he would sell it back to me, so I bought it back, and then I sold it to my son-in-law's uncle Greg. Like I said, it's got a small block Chevy in it with that's supercharged, and it runs really hard, and of all the cars that we've done over the years, this is still the one that's the most fun to drive. I mean, it's got a really low gear in the back, so it sings on the freeway. You know, instead of going like 2,000 RPM at 80, it runs 3,000 RPM at 80. So it's always and then it's right there. You know, throttle's right there.
Right.
So it's a 140 mile an hour car. It's plenty good.
Can we pop the hood, or was it going to take a flathead screwdriver?
Well,
or a
I don't.
nickel?
I need to have. I have something we can pop the hood with. Yeah.
Wow.
Want a knife, Pete?
No, I can get it with the.
I like the that thing where you sell somebody something and then you buy it back from them at some point later on in life.
Yeah.
I want to do that before I die.
All right.
Just to say, or it's like
We do it all. The thing is, we kind of do it all the time.
It's like remarrying your first wife or
it's
something
Look,
like
I will
that.
happily buy one of your mirrors for $2,000 and resell it to you for $300.
Wow, that is nice.
So this is a B&M blower, and it's the smaller blower, but it has pushes the same air as an 871. So the reduction on it is, I mean, it's three over. So when you're going 5,000 RPM, it's going 15.
Does this thing pop up out of here? Or
Yeah,
am I
it pops
making
up
that
out of there and it grabs onto this and holds that up like that.
Did. Yeah. It's so diabolically simple. Everything is just straightforward. It's unbelievable. Electric fan. Yeah, parachute.
Because it's $15,000.
Okay. You can't hear a whistle.
Yeah.
It's kind of blower.
Yeah.
It comes on, it's 3-to-1 over.
Okay.
So, but when you get up on the freeway and you stick your foot in it, man, it's screaming.
Wow, sounds great.
Well, on a dual-purpose car, at the time, if you started getting close to the 9s, they made you run a chute. So this has got a removable roll bar. You take the interior out of it.
Oh, really?
You take the interior out of it. It takes about an hour and a half. 2 guys doing it. It's got a removable roll cage, full cage, and it's the real deal. This is a real race car.
Yeah,
Wow.
this just says big balls to me. The parachute. We got to put this on the back of Adam's Audi. Out of when that's A7.
Yeah.
It's a parachute.
I love that.
Just remember when you pop it, take your hands off the wheel, right?
Yeah.
Put your hands on your knees when you put
That's
them
right.
up to shoot.
I can tell you, just as a guy who loves the Italian stuff, that finding that gold, getting that thing, just that right. You know, it's funny because my house is pink in color, but it's not pink. You know, it's not cotton candy pink, but it's old school. You know, California pink. But finding the right pink for a dude and the right gold for a dude is a job, man.
That's right.
And but when you nail it, it just looks awesome.
works.
All right, so Richard and Pete, where do we toss it? What's a website? What's the website we should toss it out
Champions
to?
Moto for the bikes. We have a SoCal line of apparel that we've licensed with SoCal.
Like this hat?
Like the hat. It's available at Fred Siegel and Gary's wearing all the better.
Championsmoto.com.
And championsmoto.com.
Cool.
For the bikes and the engines and the parts.
Unbelievable stuff.
And
Thanks.
And we're at
SoCal.
SoCalSpeedshop.com. That's us.
So such an honor for you guys to come out, and for you guys to bring all this stuff out.
Thanks for
It was
asking.
really
It's
cool.
always, we've always
here.
had a good time.
So until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Matt and Pete and Richard saying, keep the air in the spare and the bag in the wheel.